Hi everyone, Annette Kessler here with a new video tutorial, and today we're going to make a one-page pocket mini album which is made from only one page and is filled with pockets so you can add lots of photos and journaling. So let's make it. It's really easy. All you need is to start with one solid color 12 by 12 cardstock. I'm using white, but you can use whatever color that you have. And we're going to start by scoring this 12 by 12 cardstock at, just going to remove the knife so I won't cut the paper by mistake. So we're going to score it at 3.5, 4, and then 8 and 8.5. So basically what we're creating are spines to allow for room for all the journaling and especially the papers and photos that you're going to add into the pockets and onto the pages of the mini album. Because if we're not going to make any spines, then there won't be enough room. So let's rotate the page 90 degrees to the left and score at 3 and 7.5. Basically what we created are all the fold lines for the mini album. And what we need now is to fold all the fold lines that we created. But before that, let's remove the pieces that we don't need. So basically what you need is to remove the bottom between the two fold lines until the first fold line, and repeat that on the left side as well. And you have all the measurements and a cutting guide and instructions in the link under the video that you can download and have it in front of you for reference or for future projects if you want to make that again. And then on the top we're going to do exactly the same thing. Cut in between the fold lines, and then you're going to see how it looks. Cut them out, and then you can fold. I always like to use a bone folder just to make sure that all my folds are accurate and straight and burnished, and makes the movement of the paper easier this way. So basically we have the shape of our mini album ready. Just fold on the vertical fold lines next. And again, you can get all the measurements in the written instructions and cutting guide, and the link is in the description under the video. So here is our mini album. Next, what we need to do is cover all the pages and create our pockets. And again, you have all the measurements for that in the cutting guide. So I'm going to start with the two bottom corners or pages in the corner. And these pages are just going to be covered with paper. Next, I'm going to make my first pocket. So I'm applying glue to the bottom of my paper piece and attaching the strip to the paper and simply folding the excess behind the paper, and this will create the walls of our pocket. It's very easy. This is the bottom pocket, and now I can attach the paper to the page. So we have our first pocket, and now we're going to make our two side pockets, which basically is the same, but instead of applying the glue to the bottom edge, we are going to apply the glue to the left edge, fold the edges of the strip, and attach them behind the paper, the same as we did with the first pocket. Then we can apply the glue and attach it to the left side, the left page. And we're going to do the same thing on the right with the right pocket. So this time we'll apply the glue to the right edge of the paper, fold the edges, apply glue, and then create the right side pocket. So this is a side pocket because when you want to insert something, you do it from the side and not from the top like we did before in the beginning. So now for the center page, we're just going to create a double pocket. So we're going to start by attaching the first larger piece of paper that we have, exactly like we did. Apply glue to the bottom, fold the edges, and create the pocket. So this is the first pocket. And then the second pocket is going to go on top of the first one. So again, apply glue to the bottom edge and fold the edges. So basically what we did is create one pocket on top of the other, and now we have a double pocket. So already 3 types of pockets we have in this mini album. We're going to attach this page to the center page of our mini album, and the top are only going to be closing flaps, so we're going to do that in the end. So let's fold all the pages and create this side. For the center, we're just going to cover the paper, and again I remind you that all the measurements are in the cutting guide that you can get in the link in the description under the video. So for our 2 pockets on the sides, we're going to cover both of the pages and then use our square page or a square piece as a pocket. How we're going to do that? We're going to cut it diagonally from corner to corner, and we're going to create triangle side pockets or corner pockets. That means that we're going to apply glue to both straight edges of the triangle, and the one that fits to the left goes to the left, and the same one with the triangle that fits to the right. So now we have 2 corner pockets, and for the outside of our mini album, we're just going to cover it with paper. And by the way, instead of using papers, you can use photos. So you don't just put photos and inserts inside the pockets, but you can also use photos to cover the pages of the mini album. So basically you can fit a lot of photos in this mini album. So I'm doing the cover now. Just a few pieces from the pattern paper. And now we can go ahead and do our flaps. So for the first flap, the one on the left, I'm going to cut it diagonally. And the way I'm going to do that is aligning the right corner of the flap with the cutting line and the left corner with the 1-inch mark. So this is the angle that I'm going to get. So remember, the left corner is aligned with 1 inch and the right corner is aligned with the cutting line. So the same way we're going to cut our papers, we're going to, the first one is going to be aligned with 1 inch on the left and the cutting line on the right corner, and then this piece will go on the inside of the flap. The next corner, the next piece is going to go on the outside. So we're going to flip the paper and again align the left corner with 1 inch and the right corner with the cutting line. So this way we're going to have the same color of cardstock on both sides. Just apply the glue. And then we can go ahead and do the center. The center flap. I'm going to remove about 1/4 of an inch from the top. And then I'm going to cut the corners. Now, in order for me to have the exact same corners, I'm going to use this piece that I cut as a template. And I'm going to use the same template for the cover papers. So this way, I'm going to have the same angles for both the flap and the cover paper that covers it. So it's going to be more accurate. So you need 2 pieces, one for the inside and one for the outside of this flap. And again, I remind you that you have all the measurements and the instructions in the cutting guide that you can get from the link in the description under the video. So this is the outside. For some reason it's slightly bit bigger, so I'm just cutting it. Okay, now it fits. Even I make mistakes sometimes in cutting them. The shape's a little too big. It can happen to everyone. Okay, so I'm attaching the other piece, and for the last flap, again, I'm going to remove some of the paper from the top, about 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to use a border punch to give it a nice border. This punch is a little bit old, so it doesn't really cut the cardstock all the way. I'm going to be assisting it with my scissors. It can happen. It's still good. I really like this pattern, so I'm not throwing it away. Okay, so let's just cover the last piece. And it's always a good idea to use double-sided cardstock. It gives you more option with your patterns and colors. But you can, again, use solid colors, whatever you have in your stash. And don't forget that instead of cover papers, you can use photos. So just look at the measurements and cut your photos to the same size as the cover papers. Okay, so basically our mini album is ready. Please subscribe to my channel if you like this video, and don't forget to click on the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video. I really hope you like this little mini album. It can fit a lot of photos inside and journaling. So it looks small, but it actually fits many photos. So it can be a brag book, it can be a nice present for someone, a great way to save photos from a trip or a day with a special family member or friend. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next time.